organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, yes or no? Find out if Johnson County residents voted in favor of the proposed Justice Center.
And cops in your schools, see if local police will be making an appearance in the Iowa City School District.
And in sports, we'll tell you who Fran McCaffrey and the men's basketball team will face in the Big Ten ACC Challenge.
All that and much more is coming your way next.
Stay tuned because your Wednesday edition of Daily Iowan TV starts right now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning in and welcome to your Wednesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Iowan Simic.
And I'm Brad Maxwell. The proposed Johnson County Justice Center has been stopped in its tracks once again. A special election for a revised plan of the center, which is shown here, was held Tuesday night, and Johnson County residents failed to pass it. The bond referendum needed a supermajority vote, reaching 60% of voters saying yes, but the proposal only reached 54% of people voting in favor of it. One Iowa City local said he was excited when the votes came in.
I was ecstatic. I seriously think that this new Justice Center would have led to a great downfall in the university's reputation because they have a huge new jail for the students right next to campus. So I really think this greatly improved the reputation of the university.
But many city officials were hoping this time around the plans would finally pass, but they're not done fighting yet. Johnson County Supervisor Terrence Newsill told the Daily Iowan, quote, "I have a responsibility for the safety, health, and welfare of our employees and the public, and want to see some immediate changes to the courthouse and to the jail. And to address that, we've got a lot of work ahead." End quote. The previous plan failed to pass during the November 2012 election. The revised plan put up to vote this week was slightly less expensive, with a bond referendum of $43.5 million. Well, from the Justice Center failing to pass to a local district considering adding police to their community, let's see if increased safety will be added somewhere else in the community.
That's right, Brad. The Iowa City School District is thinking about having armed police officers come to their schools. The Iowa City School District Governance Committee discussed a federal grant on Monday that could bring armed officers to schools in the district. The grant requires a 4-year commitment from the district, but only provides funds for the first 3 years. That commitment would require that the district put 2 armed officials on its campuses. The Iowa City Police are currently in the process of reapplying for the grant. They have received funding in the past, but would now like to partner up with the school district before any officers would be placed. The board will consult community members and district officials.
A new system is coming to the University of Iowa to help the hard of hearing. The UI is installing a hearing loop system in different buildings that will help those with hearing impairments have an easier time listening during a big lecture. Older technology for those who are hearing impaired costs the university around $400 each. The hearing loop system would cost about $20 per chair in a lecture hall and is a one-time cost. The new system is currently being installed in medical laboratories at the UI. Plans are set to also install them in the new Papa John Biomedical Discovery Building and the Medical Alumni Auditorium in the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics. For more on this story, be sure to pick up your Thursday edition of the Daily Iowan.
And still to come your way on Daily Iowan TV, find out how one of the smallest things in the world can change in a big way.
And in sports, we recap Iowa baseball from last night as Jack Dom's squad dropped another series this season. But first, let's toss it over to Daily Iowan TV's Anna Theodosis, who is standing by with your weather forecast. Anna?
Thanks, Brad and Giovanna. Well, today the sun was shining and students could be seen laying around on the Pentecost, catching some rays or hitting the books before finals. But that rain that started Wednesday will be sticking around for most of Thursday. Thursday morning, the rain will be going strong with temps reaching up around 60 degrees. By the afternoon, those temperatures will rise up to 73 degrees as the rain will just start to taper off just a bit. The temperatures will drop through the night as the rain continues, but don't worry because we'll only hit a low of 61 degrees. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, on Friday and Saturday, expect warm weather with temps getting into the low 70s and partly cloudy skies. On Sunday, the temps will dip down back to the mid-60s, but on Monday, a high of nearly 80 degrees will kick off final exam week for University of Iowa students. And those temperatures will only continue to rise, with the high hitting 93 degrees on Tuesday. Well, that's all of that I have for you today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Anna. Protons and neutrons make up atoms, and quarks make up protons. Recently, new studies have found interesting activity between quarks. Our own Stefan Duran tells us how research at the UI could potentially change the way we understand atoms.
The inside of a proton is a remarkably small space with a lot of undetected activity. The University of Iowa physics professors and researchers have been a part of a worldwide study of that tiny space to better understand it. In recent years, the group noticed a large peak in the standard model of particle physics during experiments, which could perhaps enhance scientists' understanding of things like quarks.
We have not understand this, but if we understand that, if the speculation about it is right, so we could add something into that standard quark model.
The group observing the structures of the standard model is studying around the world in both Batavia, Illinois, and Geneva, Switzerland. Geneva is home to high-tech particle acceleration machines called the compact muon solenoid, which makes up the Large Hadron Collider, in which some of the instruments used in the LHC were constructed here at Iowa. Although the data being collected on these machines is hard to understand, one little interaction could have a monumental impact.
At these accelerators, we're able to create new combinations of quarks that aren't normally seen. And so in looking at these new combinations and how they interact and how they decay, we're able to learn more about how the universe actually fits together.
Students studying particle physics have labs that focus on the standard model research, and professors hope with a new discovery, Iowa's physics program will be put on the map.
With this discovery, University of Iowa will be seen as one of the leaders in the field, and we can carry on developing more research opportunities for our students.
Stefan Duran, Daily Iowan TV.
The University of Iowa is currently leading nearly 50 American universities in this particle physics research.
2 Iowa City high schools can be found in the Newsweek's Daily Beast Top 2,000 Schools in the United States, and you won't find them listed near the bottom. City and West High schools can be found in the top 1,000 schools. West High was ranked number 327 in the country, and City High was ranked at number 997. Both schools are among the top 15 in the state. This is the second consecutive year both schools have been on the list.
And you might notice something missing from your 4th of July spread this year, and that's sweet corn. The unusually cold temperatures this spring delayed the crop's growth. But according to the Iowa Corn Growers Association, the amount of corn produce won't decrease from last year. And that's because the majority of Iowa corn is not sweet corn. In 2012, Iowa farmers grew almost 1.8 billion bushels of corn on almost 14 million acres of land. Officials project the numbers for 2013 to approach 2.5 billion bushels produced on just under 14 billion acres of land. Iowa's been the largest producer of corn in the country for almost 20 years. Well, Giovanna, Hawkeye Sports been busy on the diamond lately, both the men and women's squad in action.
They sure have, so let's toss it over to Alyssa Bergamini for a look at your Hawkeye Sports. Alyssa?
Hey guys, and once again, welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. We have a lot of material for you today, including Play on the Diamonds, thoughts about both the NHL and NBA playoffs, and our very own track insider, Danny Payne, to the studio. So let's jump right in. The Iowa baseball team was in action last night against Nebraska Omaha for the 5th time this year. For the 3rd time in the 5-game series of the course of the season, the Mavericks came out on top of the Hawkeyes. Freshman pitcher Josh Marching took the mound for the Hawkeyes, but only lasted 2 1/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs on 5 hits before being pulled. The Hawkeyes made it interesting, though, putting 4 runs on the board in the 4th inning to make the score 6-4. A late run in the 9th for Jack Daum's squad wasn't enough, as the Hawks fell 1 run short for the 3rd time in the last 4 games, which led them to fall 6-5. While the baseball team continues to struggle, Megan Blank and company seem to be peaking at the right time with the Big Ten Conference softball tournament just around the corner. For a full preview of everything going down in Lincoln, Nebraska on Thursday, we'll toss it over to Pearl Field, where our own Chelsea Brown has a full report.
Hey guys, I'm here inside Pearl Stadium with your update on the women's softball team. They begin action this week in the Big Ten tournament in Lincoln, Nebraska. The 9th-seeded Hawkeyes and the 8th-seeded Ohio State Buckeyes will face off starting Thursday. The winner will face Michigan, the number 1-seeded team in the tournament, and the loser will unfortunately go home. But speaking specifically about your Hawkeyes, they are hot right now with a 5-game winning streak. They also previously saw Ohio State in a previous game this season, remembering back to Holly Hoffman's walk-off grand slam where the Hawkeyes topped the Ohio State Buckeyes in that game. The Hawkeyes do have the most recent wins over Ohio State, so it'll definitely come down to who wants it more in the tournament. That's all I have for softball. Make sure you tune in Thursday, but as of now, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Chelsea. While the Diamond has given us plenty to talk about this week, it's the NBA and NHL playoffs that have people really buzzing. We take our coverage to the streets of Iowa City to uncover which sport is more exciting to watch this year.
NHL playoffs.
How come?
Because it's not fake and made up like the NBA playoffs.
Why are the NBA playoffs fake and made up?
It's rigged. NBA is rigged.
NHL. Why?
Because I love the Chicago Blackhawks.
I'm at the NBA because I really hate the Heat, and it's going to be a close one, I think. So I really hope the Bulls come through.
I don't plan to watch either of them.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just didn't even think about it. It's not really a part of my world.
NBA. How come?
Because it's more exciting.
Who do you want to win this year?
I want the Heat to win this year because I think they're playing very well and they've worked very hard, so they deserve to win.
With the NBA playoffs in full swing, college basketball probably isn't on too many of your minds, but bits and pieces of the 2013 Hawkeye basketball schedule are coming to light. Last week it was announced that Iowa was competing in the battle for Atlantis. Now we know who's coming to Iowa City for the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Notre Dame will be coming to Carver Hawkeye Arena on December 3rd as part of the 15th ACC Big Ten Challenge. The Fighting Irish were a tournament team last year, but fell to Iowa State in the second round. Star forward Aaron White was a bit surprised by the news, tweeting earlier today, quote, "The whole conference realignment is really throwing me off. So we play Notre Dame in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. News to me that ND is in the ACC," end quote. From softball to basketball, we have touched on many tournaments coming up, but we can't leave out the Big Ten Track Championships. To give us some more insight, we now welcome our very own insider, Danny Payne, to the sports studio. And Danny, what are your expectations for this weekend for both the men and women's track team?
Well, hopefully the men and the women's team can do better than they did indoors this season. The men's team finished 7 out of 11, and the women finished last 11 out of 11. So hopefully both squads can turn it up this weekend, and have a better performance.
And we know right now that the men are ranked 18th in the country. Do you think that with this weekend they can improve their rankings?
They should be able to. They've been running well, competing well in the field all season, so hopefully they have a good performance this weekend. They can maybe possibly jump into the top 10.
And Justin Austin, he's one of the teammates that have one of the top times in the league. Do you think, what is his success with this?
Well, Justin Austin, he currently holds the top times in the 100 and the 200 in the Big Ten Conference, the 100 10:22 and 200 20:55. He also won the Big Ten Outdoor Championship in 2011. So hopefully his performance this weekend, he can win at least one, hopefully both.
Okay, well, we wish both of them the very best, and thank you, Danny, again.
Yep.
That wraps it up for us tonight in the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Alyssa. And now let's take a look at what you'll see in Thursday's edition of the Daily Iowan. See what Johnson County officials have planned as the next step in the quest for a new Justice Center.
And get the details from the staff council meeting held on Wednesday.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.